What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Joe's Vanity HalloWEEK. All week long, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll be uploading a makeup tutorial of some sort for Halloween. So today is our first upload, and this is going to be like a beat up look basically, and I'm just going to do like a basic like cut, bruising, black eye type deal. But before we get started, I have a giveaway going on all throughout this week, and I will announce the winner of this giveaway on Halloween. So whether it be just a quick video upload or if I just reach out to them, I will announce them on my Instagram stories or my Snapchat, somewhere in there. My Instagram is here and my Snapchat is here. But I'll announce the winner on October 31st, okay? And so you will have, if you're watching this video and it is before October 31st, then you still have a chance to enter. Now here are the details of the giveaway. So for the Joe's Vanity HalloWEEK giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and make sure your notification bell is turned on. Then follow me on Instagram, which is Joe's_Vanity. And then make sure you leave your Instagram handle below so I have a way to get a hold of you if you are the winner. So I'm sure you're wondering what you could possibly win. And here's what you could win. This is a makeup bag. This is the Ulta Beauty X Essence makeup bag. It's the collaboration. It's super cute. It's Girls United collection. It's got a bunch of different girls, and it is full of goodies. We're going to show you what the goodies are inside. So you could win 2 Morphe brushes. One is a face brush, which is the E34 brush, and it is my favorite brush for bronzer and contouring. And then this is my favorite brush for eyeshadow in the transition shade, so I figured I'd give away both of them. This is the E23 brush from the Elite collection. You could also win, as mentioned in a previous video of mine, this Park Avenue Princess contour and highlight palette. I will give you a sneak peek of this. This is actually something that I did receive in BoxyCharm. It is a very nice, expensive palette. Super cute packaging, but I already have it, so I told you guys I was going to put it in a future giveaway. So that is what I'm doing. I'm adding it to this giveaway. And then you will win these aromatherapy shower tablets. It's the Ulta Beauty brand, but it's the Sea Breeze and Aloe Water tablets. It comes with 4 tablets. You just put them in your shower. It's just that aromatherapy, like spa type, it's like bath bombs basically, but for a shower. And then included is this Buxom Lash Mascara. It's just a deluxe size of this mascara. And then the Bare Minerals. This is the Gen Nude Neutral Eyeshadow Palette. It is super cute. This is the colors that are on the inside. I will actually show you. I'll open it up and show you. This is the full size of this palette. Super cute packaging. Check that out. And then you pop it open, and these are the shades on the inside. It's just very neutral. I went with this palette because I figure it's very compact and easy to travel with, and it's also something that pretty much anyone with any skin tone could use. It also comes with the Bare Minerals Queen Tiffany Shade Loose Eyeshadow. It's a super cute, like, brown mauve almost type shade. It's super pretty shimmery color. It's a loose pigment. Super cute and tiny, easy to travel with. And then you could get 2 lip products. So this is my favorite bullet lipstick besides the Huda Beauty. The Huda Beauty is my favorite, but as far as like inexpensive nude bullet lipstick, this one is by far my favorite. It's the Ulta Beauty shade in the shade Barely There. The Ulta Beauty brand in the shade Barely There. It is so cute. So I went and grabbed one of these because I was like, I'm gonna put some stuff in there that I really enjoy so that you guys can see why I enjoy them. And then last but not least, I did the SFX Ulta Beauty Girls United collection. This is the High Shine Lip Gloss in Finesse. So it is super cute, like light pinky shimmery shade. They're pretty much sheer, but it does have a pink tint to it. Super comfortable, super cute. So yeah, all you have to do to be entered to win this bag full of goodies is make sure you are subscribed and follow me on the Instagram. And again, make sure you put your Instagram handle below so I have a way to get a hold of you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you is the things that you need. Now, there are several different ways to make at-home fake skin. That's just going to be the first of the supplies because we are going to make a gash in our face just to add a little character. But there are ways that you can do it at home if you have at-home supplies. Just look those up. There's several YouTube videos going around of like how to make them at home. For me, I feel like it was less expensive and less tedious than to just buy like the fake scar wax than it was to go and buy all the stuff and make it myself, try to perfect it. So what I did last year was I purchased this Ben Nye cream makeup kit. It came with several different things. In here, there's fake blood. There is like a bruising wheel with all the bruising colors. It came with like the nose and scar wax, which is what I'll be using. It came with liquid latex, spirit gum remover, ivory hair color, translucent powder. I mean, literally, coagulated blood gel, just a ton of different types of Halloween makeup, and I think I might have paid 60 or 70 bucks for the entire kit. And like it even came with some supplies as well, like it came with little sponges, little Q-tips, it came with a powder puff, it literally came with a whole lot of stuff that you can use for Halloween makeup, and it was really inexpensive. So that's just my suggestion. You can get online and they have them they have kits like this that are less expensive that come with a little bit less that you can buy from Ben Nye, but I just feel like Ben Nye has the best to offer as far as like the bloody makeup. For me, that's just my preference. If you guys have a brand that you know of that, you know, has awesome Halloween makeup, good quality, that's not so expensive, drop them in the comments below. I'm sure all the viewers would love to see it, as would I. But that's what we're going to use today. Now, I think there are a couple things that I may have purchased separately. One being this, like, zombie spray blood. I'm not exactly sure where I bought this. I don't think it came in the kit, but this one literally, like, splatters. So this would be like if you had on the torn up shirt or whatever, you could spray this and it literally splatters. I have a used paper towel right here, and I'll just kind of show you what it does. But it does stain, so be careful. But you just spray and like it looks like, does it not look like I had a bloody nose, and just wiped it on that? Like, we'll do a few more sprays. It's a very direct, but look, it definitely looks like blood. So I really like that. And if you spray it onto something bigger from a distance, it splatters a little bit, so that's cool. And especially for a cut, you want to use some kind of coagulated blood. And if you don't know what that is, it's like thick blood, like jelly type blood. So it's almost like it was like blood that was starting to clot, that type of blood. Okay, so I'm going to try to use everything that I have right here in this kit without reaching into like my other makeup. So first we're going to do a little bit of bruising on my face. Now here's the thing, when you're doing a scar wax, unless you have your exact skin color, it's going to be obvious that you have something sticking out from your face. So you want to make sure that you're going to have to conceal or foundation your face in some sort of way in order to make it blend, because if you just put on a solid color, even if it's your exact color, your skin's not perfectly smooth one color. So that, just like if you had a perfect foundation match and you were to rub like a circle of it right here, you're going to tell that there's a foundation right there, even if it's your exact skin color. So same thing with that scar wax, you're going to have to blend it with makeup. But what I like to do is place the scar wax first, then I'll put foundation wherever need be to make it blend, and then we can beat up our face however we need to. Okay, so first keep in mind that scar wax is very thick and very sticky. I'm going to find like an old makeup brush to kind of dig into it and kind of press it on there. Before I used a Q-tip and it just did not work in my favor, and when I use my fingers I feel like I'm getting it off for days. So I'm going to find a good makeup brush for that purpose. Okay, so I'm actually going to go in with this brush. It's an old Unique brush, the cream shadow brush. I have tons of these from when I did Unique. And I'm just going to kind of dig into this scar wax. This is my first time digging into it. If you have not used scar wax, this is the consistency. It's very, very thick. But I don't know. I've not used scar wax that's might be old, so I'm not sure what that's going to do. But you want to place it on you and just kind of press it. the more you spread it, the stickier it gets. So you want to make sure it sticks to your skin, and we're just going to kind of spread it out because I want it to be sort of a cut. I don't want it to be a straight line cut because those tend to look faker, but we're going to bring it up like under our eye here. And like I said, the thinner you spread it, the stickier it gets. So we're just going to kind of, as you can tell, this one is close to my skin tone. You can buy different scar wax of different skin tones. But the thing is it just is kind of hard to work with. You do have to manipulate it. But the good news is you're not trying to perfect anything, because with cuts and bruises and things like that, you want it to look as jagged and nasty as possible. So here's the thing. I lay the scar wax and I kind of just let it do its thing. I am going to put a little bit more up through here. But what I do is if there's a buildup of wax and I don't want to keep spreading and ruin what I've done, I'll make that be the main part of the cut and make it look like swelling. So that's what this right here is going to be. The deepest main part of the cut is going to be here, and then I'm just going to have it drag up and go upward. I'm going to place a little bit more on my face up where that cut is going to drag. Because what you're going to do is once you get the scar wax placed, once you get it good manipulated, this is going to probably be the longest part of this part of makeup, or this type of makeup, is just getting this scar wax to cooperate. Now you can use like an oil, and it helps to kind of, number one, keep it from sticking to your hands, but number two, to help you more manipulate this wax. But I feel like because it's keeping it from sticking to your hands, it kind of removes it from sticking to your face, and I just don't really like pulling into that. So here, I'm getting good texture, which is what I want right now. Just bear with me, it'll get better. But I want to add a little bit more right here, because you're not, like I said, cuts are not going to be perfect. You're not going to have cuts that look like a perfect straight line. You're going to have swelling, your skin's going to be discolored, it's going to look weird. So the weirder this looks, the better, because we can always make the skin around it look like it's just cooperating with what's going on with our cut. So just a minute ago, I wiped my hand off on that towel that had the fake blood on it, and I just got it all over my hand, but luckily I caught it in time and it did not dry that way. Okay, so we're just going to leave it at that. As you can tell, it already looks like my skin is swollen, but there was some makeup on this makeup brush, so that's why you're seeing a little bit of darkness come through. Okay, so we've got that placed, and I'm just going to leave that there. I should have gotten like a wash rag or something. So you want to get that placed first. Make sure it's good and sticky. Make sure you close up your scar wax or it will dry out and be really hard to function with. Okay, so now what we're going to do is blend this scar wax with, no, excuse me. First, what we're going to do is cut our scar wax. So what we're going to do is take something a little sharper. Let me find something that I can cut into this with. Okay, so I'm using like the edge of a nail clipper, and as you can see, I kind of gashed that one area. And so I want to get the chunk to be taken out right there. So that's going to look like, and you want to expose your skin. You want to go all the way down to your natural skin. And then we're going to take like something actually just like a thin brush. We're actually just going to use this liner brush, and I'm just going to press it to add indentation on that scar wax. And you have to be careful because sometimes it will pick up that scar wax because it doesn't exactly completely stick to your skin. So there we go. We got us a good gash going right there, as you can see. And here's the thing, as you're going, you're going to notice that things are crumbling, falling apart. As long as you got the main gash on there, work with the rest later. You can always build up, add to it after you apply makeup, because I promise it comes together towards the end. But what we're going to do is go ahead and put foundation on our face and our scar, but we're not going to use a heavy foundation. You don't want to use a super full coverage foundation. You just want to do something that's going to blend your face together. And some choose concealer for this purpose. I just find that most concealers are full coverage. So I'm going to look for a lighter coverage foundation and just kind of blend this. Okay, so I'm just going in. Literally, you can use any drugstore foundation, whatever you want. The only reason I'm picking this one up, it is a more expensive foundation, but the only reason I'm picking this one up is because it is lighter. And so when you're doing Halloween makeup, you really want to make your base a little bit lighter than you actually appear, because you do appear more sickly or dead or whatever you're trying to achieve. And if I just got beat up, I'm not going to look all tan and fancy. I'm going to look like I'm about to pass out, okay? So we're going to take a beauty blender because, or we're going to use a smaller one, because you can really manipulate where you want to place this. Whereas if you use a brush, you're going to rub all over this, and where we have skin peeled up, or where we want skin peeled up, is going to be knocked off, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to actually just squeeze or squirt, or I hate squirts, so that's why I was trying to look for a different word to say, all over my face. And I'm just gonna, like, it's a little bit lighter, like I said, than my actual shade that I would normally use, and that's what you want. You want it to be just a tad lighter, as you can tell. Okay, so now I got the majority of my face on. As you can tell, it is definitely lighter than I am, and we're just gonna put a little bit right there on the beauty sponge, and we're just going to blend around it first. And then remember, you don't exactly have to have this part covered, because you are going to add like blood and bruising and all that. You just want to get the edges basically blended. You don't really have to have the exact, like, you don't want the entire thing to be the exact color of your face, because like I said, you're going to be adding bruising and scabbing and things like that all over that area. So you don't really have to worry about that part of it. You just want it to blend at the edges. And so that's all I'm doing. I'm just taking a little bit at a time and just staying focused right around the edges. And I'm just kind of tugging a little bit at the edges of the wax so that it kind of just presses. Like I said, the thinner it gets, the better it sticks. And so you can't really apply it thin, because it would then be too thin and wouldn't be able to build up into a cut. But once it's on your skin, you can kind of blend out those edge pieces. I look like I have more of a boil at this point than I do a cut. Let me see if I can blend out the edges just a little bit with oil. So what it does is when you put the oil, I'll show you. I'm actually going to take the oil. Let's see what kind of oil, some type of oil that I have. I'm actually going to use this Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist. I do not want to waste this, but I feel like it would be, oh, I have something I can use. Okay, so this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set. It's not as expensive and you get more product in it, so I'll be willing to put a little bit more on here. It's a dewy setting spray, so I'm wondering, since it is like a dewy, if it'll help. Oh yeah, so it kind of just is pressing that into my skin and blending it. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's literally like pressing this scar wax into my skin. Like I'm just pressing and kind of rolling, and some of it is coming off, but some of it is really like pushing into my skin and making it look like it's more a part of my skin. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom you guys in and we're going to work on the bruising and the effects. Okay, so now that you guys are zoomed in, you can kind of see more of the details of this. It, like I said, it looks more like a boil at this point than it does like a scar or whatever. But once we get to spraying and adding all these special effects, you'll see where it comes together. And really, when you go to make like a beat up face or like a gross zombie face or anything like that, don't have expectations. Just build on it and just use your creativity as you go. So first we're going to start out with bruising our eyes, and all I'm going to do is take one of these little sponges that actually come in that Ben Nye kit. I'm going to scoot you guys back just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to use the Bruise Wheel, and there's actually another shade I'm going to show you guys that comes in this. There's the Bruise Wheel, which is like the one that looks like this. There's like a couple Bruise Wheels, ones that's got like the blue and yellows, and then the other one that has the purples and reds. But then there's also this, which I think I may have ordered separate too, but it could have came with this kit. I'm not 100% sure. But this is the Ben Nye Cream Shadow Character Shadow, but this color right here seems to work great when you're trying to darken your under eye. So I'm actually going to dip into this. Probably have to get that top layer off, considering I haven't used it since last year. And just really add a good bit there. But look, immediately my eye looks black just from that. Like, I feel like this stuff, especially on this sponge, because it doesn't place it perfectly, and in this type of video you don't want anything to look perfect, because no I've never seen anyone get beat up and it look like a perfect situation. Do you know what I mean? So you just want to just kind of get it on there, but immediately I look like I got hit. And the way this sponge is, it kind of just, I guess because of the angles, it goes perfectly into where you would have actual bruising. So you see where we have this skin exposed? We're actually going to do a little bit of yellow and bluish colors through here, but this is where our purple is going to be, but especially more so on this side. So you know, whenever you do get a black eye, not that I have like this crazy experience with black eyes, but when you get a black eye, the blood will eventually run over to both eyes the majority of the time, and both of your eyes will end up black. But we want, since this is the side that our cut is on, we want this eye to look a lot worse than this eye. And we're already starting to look pretty nasty. So we're going to make this eye pretty dark. I'm just going to pack this on, and we're going to keep this one about like that. But this is the one we want to look like we really just got hit. And you can drag it down onto this. It doesn't matter. And then if you feel like you've added too much or anything, you can use the opposite end and just kind of blend it out. Or you can go back in with your foundation and go back over it if you really feel like that you've put too much. But for me, I literally just don't want it perfect. So I'll just go through on the opposite end where there's no makeup and just kind of blend it so that it looks like it kind of fades out into my face. And then you're just going to take your color wheel. I'm actually going to swap into my other bruising wheel that has the yellow and blues and colors in it. And that is this one right here. This is a CK4 Bruise and Abrasion wheel. And we're going to dip into this little guy that we pressed our scar wax with. And it's just like I don't know if you guys can see, but it's just like an eyeliner brush. And so since we're getting into the corners of our eyes, that's what we're just going to kind of place it and then wipe off the excess product. So we're going to start out with the yellow. We'll start out with the yellow and place it right through there in the front. The discoloration through here is really basically just our abrasion. And this right here is going to look like where it's kind of healing, because this is actually the eye that really got hurt. So this is going to be the one that has less bruising and is just kind of in the healing process. So now we're going to dip into we're going to build from the yellow, because we want the yellow to be like the underneath, because the very lowest layer is what's healing for us. And then I'm just going to do it kind of around my eye right there, just in the front. And then I'm going to dip into the red. We're going to kind of make it go deeper and deeper from that point. And so once I dip into the red, I'm actually going to take that sponge and press back over this and blend that red and yellow together. And it's so necessary, especially if you feel like you're like, oh, why am I doing this step? Like, where's the yellow? I promise you, it's breakthrough. And so when you see the breakthrough yellow beneath your bruises, it looks a lot more real. Whereas if you were not to do the yellow portion of it, it would look more like makeup. Every layer counts. But you really want to focus on the inner corner of your eye, for this eye, because it kind of bled over into this, and we just want to keep this one looking, you know, just like it was just an abrasion, whereas this looks kind of swollen. And the more swelling you want, the more contour you want. So what we'll do is we'll actually take this blue shade in this Ben Nye, and I'm just going to pick it up, and what I'm going to do is very light-handed. When you want to contour, especially like, so do you see where the depth is added right there? And it kind of looks like I'm swelling through here because of that depth. I'm just going to draw a line and draw a line, very light-handed like, and then I'm going to do the same thing under my eye, right through here, and make it look like we have a little bit of swelling, We'll do another line down below it, just barely. And what we're going to do is not blend it, like we don't want to drag that away. We want to blend on top of it so it looks more like a contour of swelling as opposed to a blend. Like we want it to look swollen. See how that makes my under eye look really swollen? Just because of that one line makes that depth under my eye. And then wherever you add your contour, you want to add, so see how I look swollen? This eye looks really swollen. You want to add highlight in the opposite area because that's going to make you look more swollen. So I'm actually going to take like a, not a white shade. You want to probably go back in with whatever foundation you used. And just kind of bring your skin back up to those certain areas, and then kind of add like a shine, just a tad, and that will help. I'm actually just going to pull this Born This Way foundation because it doesn't matter if it matches me, because again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you just add just a touch of your actual skin, it kind of looks like it's sagging. Do you guys see that? And then again, you're going to blend it. And then we'll do a touch of my actual skin through here. Just right above where I contoured. And now look how swollen I look through here. We're going to take this burgundy shade right here. And kind of, we're going to, wherever you want swelling. So we're going to do like right through here. You want it to be contoured just a tad. And I'm going to put a little bit through here. And we'll just kind of fling it up. And again, the less careful you are with this, the more realistic it looks, okay? Because the more careful you are with this, the more it looks staged. So we're going to add just a touch more. And you can just keep playing. Like, that's the cool thing about it, is you're not limited to your play. But look, see how my eye looks super swollen? This kind of looks swollen but scratched in a way. And if you wanted to add like intense swelling, you could totally take a little bit of scar wax and just really just place it there. And it's going to look like you're swollen in that area. But if you just want to use makeup, like again, look how much more swollen the under part of my eye looks here than here. And that's literally strictly from contouring. So, and this part looks swollen through here. And so now what we're going to do is start focusing on our actual hurt eye. Now if you want to look like you've been like scratched, like you just kind of got into a fight, you just want to kind of take like the red, like as you can tell I have scratches through here. You don't want them to look perfect. You just want to kind of discolor your skin, and then once you've got this discoloration, you'll go back in with that and be more direct with the cut, like right through there. See how it kind of looks like a scratch, and then it kind of just gets red. Especially like if you think about if you get scratched by your cat, the entire scratch is not deep. It's just like one area will start bleeding, and then the other parts of your face are just red where the scratch ran. I have no idea why I did a cat reference. I don't have a cat, never had a cat, but that's all I can think of is a cat scratch. And if you really wanted to get really realistic, you could add a little coagulated blood in those scratches, and that's what we're actually about to do. I'm going to add a little bit of coagulated blood, or you could spray, since I do have a little bit of this spray, I could dip into this wet blood here and just add it, which it's not doing what I want, but I do look scratched there, so I'm going to leave that. And you can also add like, that is setting spray and totally not blood. What am I doing? You can spray that blood onto that paper towel, and while it's still wet, dip into it, and you can add like a dot, like dots of blood, like it's coming up out like that, or like that really, like the abrasions that have like dots, like where you almost broke blood, you just brought blood to the surface but you didn't quite get the blood, and just kind of press over it, and it's looking a little more realistic. Okay, so now that we've got this side pretty much done for what I want to do to it, we're going to focus on the beat up side. So this is the side we really want to tear up, especially since we got that deep cut. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and dip into this blood that I sprayed on this paper towel and go directly into the cut. So you want a precise brush. And again, I literally sprayed that spray blood directly onto the paper towel and it kind of created a puddle. And so I'm literally just kind of going in. And it's going to feel weird because you definitely have a gash that's not actually your skin. But when you like press this down into the scar wax, it kind of feels like you're digging into a wound, but you're not. You're not actually. That's not actually a wound. No worries, it's not real. So now, as you can tell, fake blood, when it's not splattered or gathered, it looks almost too fake, like too red. So this is where you're going to add the coagulated blood. And the coagulated blood is going to add texture, and it's going to be really disgusting and gross and just not fun looking. I did a picture last year of a beat up picture where I looked beat up, and I had so many people message me and say what happened, who did it, like they were so mad. I'll insert that picture here actually. And I was like, no, it's just makeup, I swear. But if, okay, just to give you guys an idea, oh my gosh, this stuff is messy. Just be prepared to make a mess. But this is coagulated blood. It's literally like jelly. And so I'm going to dip into this and just kind of dig up just like a chunk of it and just press it, or if it'll lay into that cut. Look, it looks like a blood clot. And that's what you want for that inside of that cut. You want it to look like it was trying to clot. Can you guys see? And the coagulated blood has a darker red to it. So when you lay it over that lighter blood, all of it mixed together along with that texture is just good. It's good stuff. So I'm just going to kind of sweep what's left on this over this wound, because obviously it's going to be all together. So obviously if you are hit or beat up in that one area, it's not just going to be that one cut. You're going to have, again, abrasions around it. So now that I press that coagulated blood over this part of my skin, I'm just kind of press it in, and we're going to create a cut out of that with this Ben Nye abrasion wheel. So you want to let that coagulated blood sit for a second. Once it dries, it looks even more real. It is insane what this does. So the darker you get, like if you feel like you're getting too dark with it, you can always blend it and then go back in. Like you don't have to feel like you have to, like if it's not right or if you don't feel like it's right. Like right now it looks really fake through here. So what I'm going to do is blend over it with foundation, but only a touch of foundation. So it kind of looks like that is underneath the skin. So I'm going to take this, point this way, and tap into it and just kind of barely press it over this. So see how it makes it not look so bright red, which helps. I'll drag it down just a little bit. Helps it look more like a sore area. Okay, so we're going to play with that a little bit more once we get this going exactly how we want it. So I'm going to start bruising and scabbing our cut here. So we're going to go in with that color that we did around our eyes, because that is like, it's literally one of my favorite colors as far as bruising, or I don't know who's jamming outside. I'm just going to be honest. I keep hearing it, but I don't know who it is. So you're just going to kind of press over it. You don't want to sweep or pull, because you will pull your scar wax away, or you'll press it in too deep. And you're going to want, there's going to be little areas that are going to look raised and fake. You're going to want to, look, I'm going to make that look like it's skin sticking up. But you're going to want to add texture or blood or whatever in those cracks just to make it look more realistic. But for now, we're just pressing a bruising over it. And since our eye is starting to blend with that cut there, we're going to take the other bruise wheel, the CK4 bruise and abrasion wheel. And I'm pretty sure you can buy these separate on Ben Nye. I don't think you have to have the kit. But I literally just mixed all four except the yellow. Now we're just going to go in with the blue only, just to add some darkness. And purple. Ugh, this is gross. Look at that. Looks like the skin's lifting up. Okay, so now we're going to go in on the cracks, all the different cracks that we have through here, and we're going to add coagulated blood, darkness. We're actually going to go in, I'm sorry, I closed this wheel too soon. We're going to go in with this liner brush and we're going to dip into the blue shade because we want it to be dark through there. And in all the cracks of this scar wax that you see like skin colored, we want to discolor that. We want it to look like an actual like scab area. And you can blend and add and take away all you want, so don't worry about that part. As far as scabbing, you mostly have red and purples. So you're definitely want to go. So my camera died, and so if I'm not in the same frame as I was, I'm sorry. I don't remember exactly where I was, but look at that coagulated blood as it's drying. And then once it all dries and we get all the texture in, we're going to flick up some of the skin, maybe add a little bit more scar wax and make it look like it's like peeled back skin. So where we added the blue, we're going to go back in with the purple, and then we're going to put red on top of the purple, because in scabbing you don't really ever see blue. That's more bruising, but I was literally just doing that to make it dark because you don't want it to look like skin showing through right there, because that wouldn't be the case if this were an actual scab. So you're just going to go into all the little cuts and crevices all around it and just press it in. Somebody blowing on my phone. So now I'm just going to drag that purplish color out with this brush a little bit from those darker lines to kind of blend it, but also make it look more like it's on my skin. So we're just going to pull, 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 pull all around. And then once we get it all pulled out, we'll blend that part. But again, this is totally something you just play with. It's not something that you have a set idea going in. You could kind of have an idea where you want your main abrasion to be. But here's the thing. So what I do is normally I get my cut or whatever it may be. This is clearly more than a cut. I look really like something happened. You could actually even take like a large fish hook and hook it through that scar wax, so that's what it's going to look like happened here. You could place an object in there and make it look like it's hanging out, like that got shot into your face, a bullet, anything to make it look like that explosion of your skin. We're not going to go into that depth tonight, but like if you wanted to do that where that piece is, you totally could. And I may actually add a few more scar wax pieces right here, so it kind of looks like I got clawed maybe. But that's going to be where my main cut is. And then you're just going to take, again, that same sponge. And it doesn't matter if you're blending with the side that has like other colors on it, because again, you do not want this to look perfect. The more perfect it looks, the more staged it looks. But do you see how like I was dragging and it kind of came over here? That looks more realistic. It doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look like it perfectly goes around that. and that to me looks more realistic. So we're going to keep that there. And now that we've got that looking more like a textured scab, we're going to go in with the red and go over through those lines again. And again, layers matter in this case. And if you pick up a piece of scar wax like I just did and it exposes like your actual skin, if you lay red right over it, it's going to look more like a fresh scratch, if that makes sense. If you hear my baby in the background, it's nighttime. This is the only time I get a chance to edit. If you guys have not seen my how to be a YouTuber as a busy mom, I'll link that above. But this is just part of my life, and sometimes you're just going to hear it in the background. You may not hear it, but I do. So I'm just going to drag that red that I placed, because you're going to have some fresh blood looking like it's going to peek through. And this red that I'm taking is just out of this color wheel. It's not the blood. And then once I spread it out just a bit, see how that skin like just keeps popping up right there? That's what we want. Okay, so now we're going to take the, where we sprayed the paper towel. And again, please remember that there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just how I do this, and I don't even do it the same way every time. Like, it's different every single time I do it. So I'm just dipping that paper towel and just getting a good bit of that red on there and just kind of pressing it all around that area just to kind of get rid of the skin look of that scar. Like, I don't want any skin color, because obviously you're not going to be able to see fresh skin on a wound this bad. Now I'm going to take this same liner brush and we're going to dip into the coagulated blood and really cake it all over this now. Okay, so we're going to dip into this coagulated blood, and this is literally like, I don't even know if you guys can tell like what this is. It's like a jelly, like, I don't even know how to explain it. And we're just going to put it all over. You want to kind of get that texture in those crevices, because like I said, as this coagulated blood dries, it looks more like a scab. So since this is going to be like a big gonkin scab looking situation, we want that. We want that clotted blood look. I know this is disgusting to a bunch of people. And you could even take your fingers, if you were okay with like getting it everywhere, which I totally would if I wasn't going to bed right after this and didn't want to have to clean up a huge mess bigger than I was already about to do. But you could totally take your hands and put this coagulated blood on it and put it on your fingers and just kind of drag it down your face so it kind of looks more like, I may do it anyways. I've done talked myself into it. So the coagulated blood is where you're going to place where you want it to look clotted, and then you want to spray the blood so it looks like it's dripping, because like I said, as this dries, it's going to look more like a scab. And you can add it to like the tip of where that skin is hanging off. Look, y'all see that? You don't want anything to look untouched. And then especially around the edges, you have to think if you were to actually be scratched, like you're not going to have anything smooth around that area. So again, this looks like less of a scratch, more of a gunshot wound of some sort, but like I said, I never know where I'm actually going with this. Also, as you can tell, the more you spread out the coagulated blood, the more it looks pink. So just keep that in mind, because I am going to go back over that with a little more bruising. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit actually. I'm going to dip into that blood and just kind of, oh yeah, that looks, it makes it a lot not look so exact. Okay, So like I said, as that dries, it's going to look more like a scab. So this is starting to look a little more realistic. Now where it's bright red, I don't ever want to have bright red, because even actual blood is not that red to me, I feel like. Especially in a wound. So I'm going to clean that off and go back into my abrasion wheel. Now, as bad as this wound is looking, we're going to have to beat up the rest of my face pretty good. So, I'm going to go back into this color here, and we're going to dip in with this and just kind of add some darkness, streaks. Just so there's a little bit of bruising with that red, I guess. And it's not so like bright red. And just stamp over it. Okay. It's getting super messy. So now what I'm going to do is lift that scar wax up a little bit. So see how it's like coming off of, this is where the cool three-dimensional effect of it comes through. You can literally lift it off your face as much as you want, or put it back on your face as much as you want. So we're going to peel back just a touch of this. Don't want it to fall off. But we want to make that cut look realistic, so now this is where the spray blood's going to come in. Literally spray it. It literally just splattered all over a lot of makeup, but that's totally fine for the sake of this video. Hey, what's up? Hello. So look. So you want to catch that drip, and you want it to drip, but you want to kind of stop it. You don't want to wipe it. And spread it, but you want to get to a point where it's like it's going to stop and just dry there. Unless you take it and just kind of do like a finger wipe. This could be where you take your fingerprints. But see, the more you spread it out, the more bright red it looks, so you don't want that. Camera battery died. My card was full first, then my camera battery died. I think I told you my camera battery died first, but it totally didn't. I don't know why I said that, but... So, I keep having to stop and forgetting where I'm at. But I'm going to put like little abrasions through there with my abrasion wheel. So this is to like... So we want to wash out our lips a little bit too. Oh, see, I get excited doing these because there's so much creativity you could use in this. And then posing for it afterwards is so fun too. Because you want it to make it look like a little bit cut and bruised through here, because I'm done stretched it out. Okay. So I'm probably going to go over that with a little bit of foundation, because that's not turning out how I wanted it to. Or some of this bruising. I'm just mixing all three instead of the yellow. And then we're going to go over that with foundation so it looks like an under the skin cut. And we'll probably have to add a little bit more blood drip. Again, this is totally just a play with it type thing. See, as you go over it with foundation, it kind of looks more like an under the skin. It doesn't look like it's on top as much. It looks more realistic. And if you add just a little bit of like lines on your hand, on your neck, that helps too. But you do that with like contouring. So I'm going to go in with, I have blood splattered Oh, what have I done, dude? I have blood splattered everywhere. So, if you take like, we're going to take this bruise wheel again like we used around our eyes. And we're going to add a little bit of like, you can actually use your fingers and press. And rub down to make it kind of look like a handprint of some sort. And blend it out around it, because obviously you're not going to have perfect fingerprints. It's going to be bruised a little bit around it. And then just drag it like that. And add a little bit of contour. I'm actually going to dip into this. I think this is supposed to be like a lip wheel. When you cancel out your lips, I'm just going to add a little bit of contour. Lines to add a little bit of depth to it and make it look a little more real. I think that's good. I think we're going to leave that as is and just kind of make it like so. I think that part looks good. We don't want to go in too much detail on that. Okay, so we need to add, if you take your foundation, you want it to be, again, a little bit lighter than your face. So I'm actually going to go in, oh, here's that foundation, over your lips. This always makes you look like either cold or sick. And you dab over your lips like so. And then, I don't want that to be so bright. And then you take like a pinky color, which this is what I think that this color wheel is meaning. So you're going to take like this pinky shade here, and it's going to be like that reverse lipstick that like ombres from the inside out. I'm going to dip into it and just kind of bring it outward. And then you're going to accentuate every single fine line in your lip. We want it to look like we just got tore up in the alley. You want to keep it all on the inside. See how it's kind of looking dark and crusted. Like this. And now I'm going to take like, I wonder what this line will look like. Yeah, we're going to take this darker shade here and just kind of go into the details of your lip. And really accentuate those crusty wrinkles. And you don't want to blend that. You want it to be just like it is. And now I'm going to take a powder and dab it. I look really bad, guys. And dab it over just a little bit. We'll use, it doesn't have to be that translucent powder. We're just going to dab a translucent powder. We'll go in with Fenty. There is one that came in the kit, but this one's closer and the other one's not open, so. And that's going to make your lips look more dry. And again, we're not going to focus too much on the lips because we don't want that to be the main focus of this anyways. We just don't want it to look, our lips to look right. Okay, now we're going to continue to work with the rest of our face. So now that we have our scab kind of where we want it, we're going to make the rest of our face look beat up too. But we're going to be able to do that with glue. You can do this with like any type of glue or something of that sort, just to kind of create. You don't have to have scar wax for this portion. You just kind of want it to be like your skin is like pushed together. So let's see what we have. Oh, see, I forgot about this one. This is aged and oxidized blood. So this is going to be the blood that has attempted to dry. This is called aged and oxidized. Let's dip into this before I go any. Oh, so it's like stretchy. This one says it's darker blood. Oh, it's messy, dude. Oh, this looks more realistic. It looks like the bright blood that like is actual real blood. Ew. We'll put a little bit off the edge of that skin there. Okay, so this is actually what I meant, like the liquid latex. So this is where you can make it look like your skin is peeled up. This stuff stinks, but look at it. Woo. If you lay down liquid latex over like tissue or something, you're going to create the best example for like peeled up skin. So if you lay it on your face, we don't have to make it that big, and you can literally use like tissue paper. We're going to use this piece of stuff here. We're going to dip into this liquid latex and just place it on our face. So we're basically just gluing this down more or less, and we're going to create that same concept as our scab, but it's going to look more like ripped up skin. So you lay it flat against your face with this liquid latex. Just make sure it's really saturated with the latex. And once it is, you'll let that latex dry, and you're going to cut into it just like you did the scar wax. So the scar wax is what gives us the depth for us to cut into. This liquid latex, which usually dries clear, so we'll see, is the best to create like we'll do like a few gashes, and then we'll peel up that tissue to make it look like open skin, like the skin was run down. If it works out the way I want to, it's gonna like be peeled down right there. So while that's drying, we actually have a fan. We'll speed up this drying. Okay, we kind of sped up that dry time, but for now we're going to start beating up our forehead just a bit, just to add some bruising, because again, you want your face to look beat up, and you're not going to be able to achieve that without some bruising. So we're going to make it look like, I'm just dipping into this darker shade in this lip wheel. Like, I don't even know what exactly this dark shade is supposed to be used for, but it looks like it's like discoloring my head pretty well, as far as just looking like I was hit. We'll just kind of just drag that up with no particular pattern, because again, there's no, when you're beat up, like, you don't have a pattern to how you look, you know what I mean? So now we're going to dip into the other wheel and create a little more bruising. I think with the cuts on our face, I'll be done. I want to add a little bit more black to the eye, and then I think I'll be done after we do the cuts with the liquid latex. So we're going to dip into this wheel. And I don't know why I'm using the freaking beauty sponge that I use to put on my actual makeup, but here we are, acting like it's no big deal. Okay, so our face does look pretty freaking beat up at this point. So now we really just need to work on our eyes and then finish that liquid latex, and I feel like we'll be where I want it to be. So I'm going to pin my hair back for this part, just to get my hair out of the way because I'm just trying to blacken my eye here, no big deal. So I'm going to go in with that bruise and abrasion color wheel, and I'm not going to add any yellow to this side because there's no healing on this side. This is the side we got beat. So I'm going to add a little bit of the darker red shade here. And again, you don't have to buy this midnight kit. You could buy, I do feel like that you'll need, because you're using so many layers, that you need a cream to achieve these looks. Like, you want it to be cream based makeup products, because if you go in with a powders, you're just going to get powders upon powders upon powders, and it's not going to blend into your skin like naturally a wound would. So I really do recommend, no matter which direction you go, to go with a cream product. And I will link the Ben Nye link if I can find this exact kit. I bought it last year, but if I can find this exact kit again, I will look for it, and I will link it in the description box if you guys want to go ahead and purchase that. And again, I'm releasing these Halloween videos to you guys a couple weeks before Halloween, because I know that releasing all these Halloween videos at Halloween time, what good does that do you guys for the actual day? It does nothing for you. So now I want this eye to be darker. I feel like I'm not black enough, so I'm actually going to go in with black and see if I get the depth that I want. And it's actually in that lipstick wheel, which is kind of weird, but okay, so I did add depth originally, but I feel like dragging that down and making it look more like a black eye is giving me more of the effect I was hoping for. So I'm actually like literally going into the black shade, and I'm just not picking up a lot. I'm just dragging. Okay, so if you want to, you could add a cut. And that's just to give us our depth for the cut. Now we're going to blend that sucker out and add our red and bruising. I'm going way too far, guys. Way too far. Too much. But this happens to me every year. Every year I get started doing this, and every year I go way too far with it, and at the end I literally look like something went terribly wrong. I mean, clearly, if I looked like this, something did go terribly wrong. Forget it. I'm done. So I'm going to change brushes just to kind of give it more precise. Little scratcheroo here. Like so. And then we're going to blend. Just tap over it so we just kind of see how it looks. Like I said, like the cat scratch. You just want it to look a little bit red. And then you can go in and add a little bit of blood, so it kind of just looks like you got like a little open wound there. Yeah, so our latex is good and dry, so now we want to blend, first of all, with foundation. So we're going to go over it a little bit with this foundation. And it's going to stand out still because it is not the same color as our bruise, but we are going to make it that. We just don't want it to be like stark white. So now I'm going to actually be very careful if you do this at home, but we're actually going to try to cut into that paper. And you don't, just be very careful, like you don't want to, see, I just cut some of that paper. You don't want to actually cut your skin. This is not recommended at home. But see, I'm not on my skin at all. I'm actually in that paper. And you're literally just going to cut. And you want it to look jagged. You want it to look, which probably looks wicked to you guys, but you want it to look jagged because you don't, this is a cut. You don't want it to be a perfectly straight line. So if it rips or it does anything weird, that's good news. So we're going to do a little bit over here too. And again, don't use scissors. Use tweezers or something. Do as I say, not as I do, okay guys? look, there you go, that's another cut. And you can drag that down and make it peel back and everything. Actually make it peel up. We're just going to do those. We're going to do those 2 scratches. Since we have 2 scratches up here, it's going to look like it came down. So let's get to bruising. We're going to mix those colors again together. I'm going to skip the yellow. Just all 3 of those really crazy colors. See, look. See how I accidentally placed that there? That makes it look so much more realistic, like something actually happened. So again, do not be discouraged by placing or by things turning out not exactly how you intended. Or we're going to actually go in with our darker maroon color here, this one right here. And I'm just going to go in over all those little crevices, and we're going to dip into this. We want that to look like an open wound. So as long as we can get the skin around it looking more like skin and not so much like a burn wound like it looks right now. Let's see how we can do that. Let's dip into this darker shade. We'll just press it over it. You can always blend, 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 blend. I mean, I really wish I could find something that did this to me, because honestly, what happened? You know what I mean? What could you even say happened here? I'm just placing my color over this. Oh, wait. And then I'm going to blend it. So, all the other little crevices that I have there, I'm just going to put blood in it. So we're gonna go in with that wound blood, that dark blood that I found just a second ago, if I can find it again. But I'm actually gonna go in with a Q-tip this time, because these Q-tips that come in this kit actually have a pointed tip. I dipped way too much in there, but here's what it looks like. We're just gonna press that into that wound. Just drag that blood all over those edges. We want it to peel back. We want to look like an open wound there. You want to dig in there and really coat the edges, just in case like any of it flaps back, you don't see white. Like, you want that to be really realistic. Okay, so I'm going to blend out a little bit around those edges. It kind of looks too perfected. And then we'll add the coagulated blood. I mean, I just feel like those wounds look so intense to be just that, like just open wounds. Like, I feel like there should be something to my face. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, maybe I just need to splatter my face with blood. I'm going to go in, especially if you add blood without adding a wound, it's going to look like, once that blood starts to spread and you don't have like a line or something, it's going to look like just bare skin, because it will start running. So you want to make sure that you do add color to that scratch on the inside. And I didn't do that at first, so that's why that looked like that. So, where's my other brush? I'm going to try to drag and blend with the brush instead of the beauty blender, so I don't have a bunch of... I feel like I just need to make these if I made these scratches, spread a little bit, and then make them look like more of a... like the scratch drug down into here, it would look more realistic as far as the rest of my face. And then you're just going to go in the center. You want to spread the color on the edges, And you want to go directly in the center with the darker color. And then add like blood. So I'm going to take this little liner thing with whatever dark is on it and just run it up through the center just to add some depth, to make it look more like there is a deeper wound in that. And then I'm going to take and just add a little bit of blood in that area after I blend. You just want to barely blend that contour in, because if it's a harsh line, it's definitely going to look fake. Oh, this is definitely where I was going with this, guys. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Oh no. Y'all, whenever I lose that coagulated blood, I really am like, oh my god, there's a lid missing somewhere and we're in bad shape. Because this stuff would be a mess if I really, really lost this with no lid. So I'm just going to do like it looks like the wound is really deep right there. If you just press it. The cool thing about this coagulated blood is it automatically looks like there's dimension to your cut, because it's got like thickness to it, if that makes sense. So when you drag it down, that jelly stuff only stays in certain spots, so it definitely makes it look more realistic and textured because of that. I'm just going to add some of that coagulated blood. If you're playing a drinking game and you start drinking every time I say coagulated blood, you would have alcohol poisoning at the end of this video. I'm just saying. Okay, guys. Just to round it off, we're going to add a little blood coming out of the nose. Coagulated blood, just for the sake of the shot. And this is where I was going with this. Our wound will be done. You want to add it all around the edges, because you want it to look like a nosebleed, obviously. And we'll add a little bit of that dripping down. Here we have it. Here is our beat up face. Now I'm not really sure what happened to us. I don't have a story. I don't have an alibi. But we didn't make it. So what I'm going to do now is go mess up my face. Mess up my hair, mess up my shirt, and take a picture. And then you already saw the picture because it was on my thumbnail. But that's what I'm about to do. But thank you guys so much for watching. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. And I really look terrible. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up so I can get this off my face. But stay tuned for tomorrow, because literally every day this week you get a Halloween makeup look, and tomorrow's not going to be so gory. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have your notification bell turned on, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!